at it again tonight. Okay, so tonight we're gonna remove the fan, drain the coolant, drain the oil, drain the tranny, and that'll probably be enough for tonight. But as far as fan removal, now you can go buy a fan removal tool that fits over these bolts here, down here on the fan. There's these 4 bolts right here that hold this pulley on. On the Fords, you gotta unscrew this big huge nut here, and you know, the easiest thing here is to, as you can see here, is it's a 10. Okay, so this is a 10 millimeter bolt in there. Alright, so the way I've done this in the past to remove this thing is with this and this. These two right here should be enough to remove this. So anyway, now in order to do this, how I do it is like this. You take this and let me get in there so you can see. Okay, I'm gonna pick the bolt you can't really see very good right there. I'm gonna put this here, and it's gonna wedge against this bolt here. It's gonna wedge against that other bolt there. I hope you can see this. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to hold this, and see, this is hard with the camera. See, it's much easier with the fan removal tool, of course. But you know, I never bought one. You can rent them sometimes, borrow them. You know, some just require they charge you for it, and then when you return it, it's just a little bit of a bugger. So, but once you get it, it's not so bad. It's just getting positioned in there to get it. So, another thing that can help there is getting some height. So, I'm gonna pause the video, get a ladder. Alright, I got my ladders just to get in there better. Just so I don't have to reach over as far and get up here. Easier to work. Anyway, I'm gonna try to set you down here somewhere. Hopefully you'll be able to see. I don't know. I'm gonna put you. You know, this is where having my GoPro stuff would be nice that I don't have right now. So, anyway, I'll try to do this one-handed again. Anyway, just want to set this against this back bolt. I have it curved in. Get that back bolt there. Just try to hold it on there. I had it earlier. You know, I'm gonna set this down so I can just turn this. All I'm doing now is holding that in place so that it stays while I turn. Getting it in position. You know. Arg. It dropped. See, it's not the easiest thing to deal with. Trying to find the right, most comfortable position to be at, too, to do this thing. You know, the key is keeping it there. And okay, so I've got it wedged in there now. Let me get this light back up a little bit. Okay, so I've got it wedged in between the idler pulley, and it's hitting that other bolt. The key is you really don't want to tighten the bolt. You just want to use it as leverage. So that's why I got it wedged the way I do, like that, okay? Now, under most circumstances, you can put tension against it by the engine, you know? Put bolt on the crank and then crank it over so you have tension here. But my serpentine belt is so bad that, you know, it's broken basically. So I'm having to try to put tension by hand. So let me get my other wrench going here. I'm gonna turn you around. Alright. So alright. Now in theory, I should be able to do this. I've got it tensioned. I've got that monkey wrench wedged against that big nut. I think that's a 24-inch or 24 millimeter. I can't remember. Or 30 millimeter. It's a huge. So, you know, I just usually use this monkey wrench. Once you get it broke loose, it's not so bad. It's just getting through this initial break can be a little. Oh, there. I don't know if you saw, but it's broke free now. Alright. So, it was just that. Now, get that out of the way. A nice monkey wrench like that does save you a lot of trouble. As far as, but you can see now, that thing is just spinning on its own. On the threads there now. I hate that setup. I remember a lot of cars, they had, you know, the 4 bolts held the fan on with the pulley. This particular setup is kind of annoying, I think. But it's on every engine, I think. Until Ford went to electric fans, at least, you know? On the newest vehicles. But, you know, you just have to be careful here now. I'm going to put you down again. I'm just unscrewing it. You do not, again, you do not want this thing thumping. I'm going to put you down in here. You'll see as best you can. I don't know if this is going to be any good or not. Anyway, I'm just unscrewing it. I'm just holding it, you know, to keep it so that it doesn't, I don't want it hitting the radiator any more than I have to when I'm taking this off. Again, you go counterclockwise when you're loosening this, so that's why that idler pulley works with a good, you need a good strong number 10. There, see, it just fell in. I don't like that, but I think I'm okay, you know, as far as that goes. Now I've got the fan loose, and that's half the battle there now, see. Alright, so you want a good solid, I got this Husky, I think it is, or no, what is it, Master Force. It's one of these with the, it works on even a little bit stripped out square bolts, you know, it's a really good solid wrench from what I've seen, so it works really good for being able to hold against that monkey wrench that I'm using, because that's a pretty heavy monkey wrench, you know. Anyway, that's loose. Oh, another thing that is on here, which I have to get out of the way too, because it's part of the, it's held on by the radiator support. I'm gonna go put this over here. Is this thing? This wonderful, cheap, but very long and annoying jack screw wrench they put on the Fords. Anyway, there, that's out. So, now, what holds the radiator on basically are these bolts right here. Again, number 10. You know, so, let me see, I think I have my number 10 up here yet from last night when I did the hood removal, see? So, basically it's a number 10. Oh, another thing I should do, get ready to drain the coolant before I even take this all the way off, and I should drain the coolant on this thing. I gotta remove the cooling lines. I believe they're hooked up on this, or are they? This one might not have the cooling lines in it. Some of them, I think my 97 had the cooling lines in. Yeah, they are here. There's the cooling lines here. Now the thing about the cooling lines here, you want to hold this as well when you're breaking this free, because it's going to want to try to turn this piece. This can unscrew. This can unscrew in the radiator here, so you want to hold that so it doesn't unscrew on you. That's really annoying because you can end up twisting the line not knowing it. But it's kind of a pain to get those out, you know. So, you know, let me get the right setup there. I like to use, I have to find my, I think that's a 1/2 inch on there, or something like that. I think it's a standard thread, not metric. So let me find out for sure, and I'll be back. Alright, anyway, before I even do that, I'm going to take this out of the way here. Just trying to get more room, as much room as I can out of this. You know, I don't really have to remove this, but I think it's better just to get this, I'm cleaning this out of here so I have room to work. And also so you can see better. I could leave this, but it's just easier in the end. You know, again, I like to try to put my bolts back where they were so I can find them later. I'm just screwing that back in so I have it. Because I hate looking for bolts on things. And again, especially since this is going to be sitting for an exorbitant amount of time apart. This truck ain't going back together anytime soon. Anyway, there, that's up and out of the way a little bit. Get my, just get my vice grips. Need some vice grips here. Not the most ideal. Pliers, water pump pliers might be better. Get in there, yeah. Or needle nose, actually. I might get my needle nose. Just because it's kind of a tiny little area to get into there. Get that thing loose there. Now, again, a lot of hoses and stuff. When I go to push, I just use like a screwdriver rather than pull on the hose. You can kind of break the hose free with the screwdriver, and that helps alleviate some of your frustration. You know, use the leverage more than brute force on things. You know, just slowly work it off. Again, old hose, old life. It's been on there a while. Now the other one's down there. There's another bolt in there. Where'd I put my wrench? Might have to get an extension, although I'm using a longer bolt or socket. It's very frustrating having to hold the camera and do this work. I can't wait till I get my head set. I ordered it today. I thought I ordered it yesterday, but I didn't. I only ordered the case for the thing. I forgot to order the headset. It's on the way. That way I can just use both of my head out of the way. Hopefully ending in better quality videos too. But, you know, again, I'm going to use the wrench or the socket to help get that, because it's kind of inside of there. It's just kind of a bugger to reach. And today, you see, I'm wearing my gloves. I just went and bought these because I just didn't want to break my fingers. Okay, I'm gonna get my 1 water pump pliers. Hopefully these are decent. Alright, again, I'm going to get on my ladder. I guess what takes so long about these is just the tediousness of up and down, getting the right tool on the right area. You know, just being able to sometimes reach in there. You know, sometimes it's just kind of hard to get to. It's kind of the case with this. Where am I going to put the camera as well as being able to do this? So it's another added thing to think about as I'm doing this sort of thing. Again, sometimes I'll take, blinded by the light, screwdriver and push the backside. Try to push this in and maneuver it with the screwdriver. It's not wanting to maneuver. Oh, there we go. That was going to happen anyway. I don't even care. Environmentally, not the greatest thing. But it's antifreeze. So I've got the expander bottle loose. Expander bottle's out. So now I can get down and you can see my little mess. Yeah, well, you can see it had, appears that it had coolant. That part seems good. I'm happy about that. Alright. This should be loose now, except for a rubber gaskety thing. Getting that out of there. Oh, a plastic thing, actually. There. Another thing out. For now, put it in here with this stuff. Eventually, I'll kind of archive this stuff, but for now, that'll work. Alright. Now, radiator. That hose down there. See? Now it's much easier to get to. Down here. I can get to that radiator hose and be in a much better spot. So get that radiator hose out of the way now. I'm going to do that from underneath. And then what I'm going to have to do is get something. Get something here so that I ain't dealing with this mess here. Alright, so let me see here. I put all my cardboard away. What can I do here? Oh. I don't have any cardboard now. I could get some cardboard out. It's just kind of a pain. This is why I should have saved the cardboard. I was whining about the cardboard in my unboxing. But now when I wish I had the cardboard, I'm going to the dump tomorrow. So I boxed it all in. Get it out of the way. Oh well. Well, since I peed all over the floor, I might quit for the night, and my son wants me to do some other things anyway. I want to get this out. I don't care. I'm gonna do it from up here. Again, all you have to do, there's a C-clamp. Find the right position on your clamp. Get in there and knock it loose. That's about the right position, I think. You gotta love it. I'm about to peel a lot more fluid. Now here's a little thing I'm gonna try to do. Try to use the leverage for me. Ain't working. I need both hands. So anyway, you can see what I'm kind of going after down there. That clamps in. So I'm gonna put this down. And you're just gonna have to hear me working it. It can take a while because these things, they've been on forever, you know. Careful, don't.
Why does it slip?
Because the truck peed.
Gas?
Nope, not gas.
What's that?
It's antifreeze.
I thought it was water.
No, it kind of is.
It is water.
It's green water, so don't play in it. It's not good. Alright. This is really a booger on these holy clamps here. Up here. I'd rather do it from down below, but it's so wet.
Are you ready or what? It's not. It's not. It's not.
I gotta get a bigger screwdriver.
It's not.
I don't care. We're doing it at 10. 10. 10.
5.
2. 10 o'clock. Because you're in school tomorrow.
Calm down. You calm down.
Just I'm recording right now, okay?
Why is that? Don't spare me. Why?
Recording.
Don't
You're
say
you're
spare
wrecking-
me.
You're wrecking my video.
Why?
Because I'm recording. Don't be mad at me.
I'm mad at you a lot.
I know you usually are. You've been naughty lately.
You're naughty.
How am I naughty?
You don't like dogs. You like cats.
No, I don't like cats. I like dogs. I know you don't want me working on my truck, but I gotta work on my truck. I'll go crazy if I don't work on my truck. Ugh. It's a fun distraction from things. Ugh. Ugh. This is getting wet. The antifreeze has affected the stability of my chair. Come on. Hose, work with me a little bit. I've always had problems with the bottom radiator hose on these things. Getting it loose is, you know, you can't get your fingers down it easily. Getting it off is like an act of war on the truck. There, finally. Got it to move. Out of the way. Hose is off. Or hose is loose. I got the... was able to slide that. Hose comes up. That was here. Move it up this way. Now, to get that off. I'm gonna get up on another couch here. Move my ladder back. Alright. Here we go. I'm getting in the truck. This is usually what happens when I work. What did I just break? What went flinging? Oh well. Figure it out later. Teasing that off is always a little bit of a challenge. There. Oh. Tranny flush anyone? There. It's off.
Yeah. Where's the green?
The truck is peeing.
Are you peeing?
No, the truck is. It had to pee.
You peed it for ours.
No, it's not good. I should have captured it and properly disposed of it. But I didn't. Huh?
Is that pee?
No. It's called antifreeze. It is called antifreeze. That is all. Alright.
Why is
So,
it pee?
because the truck had to go potty.
He wants to go potty.
Well, it needed to go potty.
He did.
Yes. He needed it. Alright.
Why is it green?
Excuse me. I'm gonna get the big vice grips. Is there a better way? Use the proper wrench, but again, I'm doing farmer technique here. Vice grips are a farmer's best tool. It's all you need in your toolbox, a vice grip. Yeah, it leaves
It's called
Mar
Cody.
marks. What?
It's fine, Cody.
But it is fine. Now, one thing you want to be careful of, see here when you're doing this, is that you don't break that little tube off that goes in the
Are you talking to me?
radiator. I'm gonna put it down here.
Are you talking to me?
No,
You're talking to me.
no, I'm talking to my camera.
You can see your camera.
Again, right tool for the job here actually is to use one of these because they fit over the tube and they're almost like a socket and they're 6-point. Well, actually, you know, so yeah, it's much better. And by the way, it's a 5/8 on that. So if I were you, I'd buy a 5/8 one of those to do these lines, because there are certain things that all cheap, you know, vice grips work great, but something like this, you can get away with it. I've seen it done, but usually you mar these things up so bad that it's not worth it. This, it's just you know, it's a much bigger area that I'm clamping against, so you can get away with it a little bit better than a smaller area. Alright, so I got it down there. I got it clamped down there. I will show you how to take that off. It's just like this one. So I've got that clamped, the vice grip clamped. I don't know if you can see or not, but there's that another one of these just like this one on top down there with basically the same type of line. It's part of the tranny cooler line assembly. So that just has to come off. And then I take the top radiator hose off and the radiator is ready to come out. I want to make sure that this stays, because you know sometimes these are there's a rubber O-ring. These ones are just compression fit. There's an O-ring on that one. Now we get to do the bottom one. The bottom one is lots of fun. So it's the same as this one, so I'm not going to try and show you. Just because I'm going to end up dropping my camera down there. And I don't want to. So you're just going to have to wait. I'm back again. Alright. So I got both lines loose. Find my phone. Alright. Pick that up. Stay somewhere useful. That's a 10. Where'd I put my 8?
So much fun.
Well, there's that. Where'd the rest of it go? I lost my 8. I used it to unravel. I forgot to put that bolt back too. It's right here. The bolt. You know, for that. I'm putting that bolt for the whatever it's called, the expansion bottle thingy. Alright, so I gotta get these vice grips off. Alright. I'm making progress, but I'm also very frustrated. Can't find something. And when I can't find something, I'm not happy. I don't know where I put my socket, so now I have to get another 8mm. 8mm.
Did you just say tomater? Did you say mayor? You said tomater. You said mater.
I have to get another 8mm is what I said, not tomater. We're not talking about cars here.
You just said it.
Well, I'm talking about cars, but not the movie Cars.
You just say mayor.
I did not.
Yes, you did. I saw you.
You saw me?
You said it.
I said it, huh?
Why?
Because I felt like, apparently I said it because I...
It's a bad word.
It's a bad word? Is it really? Well, that sucks. I shouldn't use bad words, should I? Should I be using bad words? Huh? Am I in trouble? Josiah, am I in trouble for using bad words? All right. Well, it's kind of a combination effect here I'm going for, I guess you could say. I've got a couple, like 3 things going here. I could have really got the shroud out of the way with the fan on it and then done some of this stuff. And I'm kind of doing like a couple, 3 things at once here. But it all ends the same. It gets this assembly out. That's what I'm after. Getting the whole assembly out. But I seem to be losing tools along my process here, and I'm not sure where I'm putting them. It's late. All right, where did I put? Getting frustrated because I'm losing tools. They can only go so far. I found that. I took the hose clamp off, but where did I put the tool that I used to take the hose clamp off now? So far I've lost a socket and my one wrench. Oh, there, I found it. It's buried up, it blended in with the engine. It was just blended in. This is just like the bottom one, so you're getting the same thing here, except, you know, I think that there is a way you're supposed to. It looks like these are clampable, but anyway, there's a neat little thing I noticed on there. Never noticed that on these before, but whatever. We got it loose. I'm doing, like I say, a couple different things at once here. You don't really have to take the upper radiator hose to get the shroud off, but I kind of did. Now it's all apart. All right, now I'm gonna try this. I got a big mouth, so here we go. Forgot. Gotta take that one off. Take that. Well, see, now that made it easier, didn't it? You don't have to take the top radiator hose off, but sure made it easier to get to this bolt. Again, I'm gonna put the bolt back where it came from here. So for now, I'm gonna get it up and out of the way. Remember where that is. All right, here we go again. We are ready. I don't know how much you saw. I might have had my hand over it the whole time. I probably got my lens all dirty too. Oh, the fun of working on trucks. There. Now you got a big hole. And that's only part of the big hole that's going to be there. But it definitely made some room for getting in there now. Alright, I'm going to get down.
Dude, this is all your fault. You just sharing my other one.
Deal with all that later. I do want to archive all that stuff properly, but for now, I want to show you how to disassemble. Again, key is archive, especially if you're working on a vehicle with really rare parts on it. You really do want to archive what you're doing, so you can keep them for when you need to put it back together. Did you see I put that bolt back in here? That way I don't have to sit there and try and find which bolt goes where. It's very irritating when you're trying to put something back together and you don't know where your bolts are. There's two ways to do this, and I do it both ways depending on what I'm doing. You know, sometimes you have to disassemble things so that you can clean it, so you don't want the bolts on there. So then I'll put them in like a Ziploc and mark it what it is. You know, so that way when it comes time to put it back together, you can find the stuff. So I use both quart and gallon. And oh, I did that right here on the hood. I haven't hung the hood yet, but I put those clips that I took off last night. I just put them in Ziploc, put them on the bolt there, so I don't lose them.
Are you done with it?
So that is done. So now I've got that side loose. Now I'm gonna finish loosening this side, which I started loosening but didn't finish. Because I'm like, oh, by the way, gotta take all the fluid out, get the hoses off, get the bottle out of the way, and take the shroud out with the fan. So you see kind of how important it is to get that fan out of the way too. And then these are just rubberized little gaskets there. And I'm gonna put this back together now. Again, so I don't lose the parts. But I'm going to swing that like this, tighten it down good and tight for now. If I do decide that it's going to be in the way for painting or anything like that, then I'll archive it with the Ziplocs. But for now, for this disassembly, this should be good enough. All right, again, up, out, turn, get your tools off there. So you can take the radiator out. It is time to finish the disassemble of the radiator. Alright. It is disassembled. And that's kind of out of the way. That one too, like that. So they're kind of out of the way. Alright. There. That's all. And I'm going to carefully archive these, but later. And that one the boot came off on the radiator. I don't like that. I want the boot. Ah, screw it. The boot's on there good. I'm carefully archiving them. I carefully archived them. Okay, now with these lines, you want to be kind of careful. Don't break them. Any of the training lines. You also don't want them hitting anything when you're taking it up. So make sure it's out of the way. And that you're careful when you're lifting your radiator out, because you don't want to poke a hole in the radiator. Unless you want to buy a new radiator. Unless you don't care about the radiator. You know, whatever. But, you know. Alright, now all that's holding it in is rubber at the bottom. So, I'm going to try this here. Huh. Uh-huh. Ha ha ha. Mm-hmm.
Why'd you pee? Why did you pee? Did you pee?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Mm-hmm. There. Not the ideal way, but it showed how to remove the radiator. Now, like I said about the hood, and he opened that. Just had to play with that. I got a attic ladder, and he opened the attic ladder, and I just ran into it. All right. Well, it's managed to pee across the entire floor of the garage. All right. Like I said about everything else, it's better to archive it. You know, put it in something, because you don't want to damage your radiator again. You know, it's another one of those things. It gets expensive when you start wrecking everything. As you can see, I did it again. Those attic ladders hurt. Anyway. Alright. So. Made a lot more room to work in here, as you can see. I've disassembled quite a bit. And I might even take air conditioning out. I think I will take the air conditioner out. I didn't plan on doing that tonight, but I think it warrants. Because I already said I was going to have to recharge the air conditioner anyway. And this one in cattails. And there's a bird feather in here. Interesting. Anyway, I think I'm going to go ahead and take the air conditioner off. And you can see there's just compression fit. So I'm just going to pop the compression fitting. Pull the air conditioner out. It probably has working AC. But we already talked about that last night, that we were going to take it out and get it out of the way anyway. So this is just one of the steps to doing that. You know, there's the dryer unit, and that goes up through there. That goes down that way. Attaches to the pump, I think. So that's all coming off. So let me get the right size for that now. That's a big one. I got water everywhere. I got a slippery mess in here from antifreeze. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. I think it's this one. Hold got one that fits that. Let's see here. Oh, look at that. It fits beautifully. Alright. Alright. So I'm just going to use vice grips, the big vice grips wherever I put them. I thought I had the big ones out. Because I used them. And then I put them somewhere else. Right here they are. Alright. Yes. Vice grips are not always the answer. But for right now, that's what I'm dealing with. I want it to hold good. And I don't have another one of these. Just FYI. Anything that was working as far as AC is concerned, I didn't hear nothing. Ain't working no more. Oh yeah. Darn it. Hear that now? It's PPing. Just let it PP for a while. These are 134As, so they're not too bad for the environment. Oh, I had to go there. Just let it slowly evaporate. Oh, I'm doing that again. Should breathe it. Like that. Do this thing. Oh. I can see. It was pretty good. It had all full charge. You should do that, especially me. I have so much exposure to different things. I don't handle stuff very well. Stuff is nasty. Yay! It's like a fun. Well, I said I was going to take the AC unit out. I did not realize how much was actually in there. Usually the ones I work on are already discharged, you know? They don't have working AC. Alright, slow down. Not really hot. I got both. They're really good. Huh? Because it's not good for you, that's why. I know, look. I'm recharging my AC. No, stay out of the mist though. Not good for you. No. No. But, you know, usually when you do that, you use a cumulator, a capture device to suck out, vacuum it down, get all the way out that way, and then recharge it back with that same stuff. But I don't have any of those tools, and I'm not going to get those tools or rent those. I don't even know if I can. I mean, there's some laws behind that. You have to be a certified air conditioner guy. You just want to bleed out slow, you don't want to blow in your face. Because there's pressure. I'm surprised I was like, oh, there's no pressure coming out. It took a while, but it's definitely leaking out now. So you hook it up. You hook up your tool here, and it actually sucks all of that out and keeps it in the tank, and then you push it back in when you're done messing with it. You vacuum it down, push it back in. You don't lose it then. Because now I got to buy oil. Because I've lost some of the oil. This must have had a leak or something. Or maybe they just, I don't know what they do with the new AC stuff. Because I've never seen it with that fluorescent stuff on there before. Usually you put that in there to identify leaks. But you can see how much it holds. It takes a while for this. Been doing this for about 10 minutes now. But yeah, this makes it so much more room. And you don't want to damage this stuff again, you know. These components are expensive, so if you can save them, you're better off saving them, you know. Although this one's kind of beat up in the front. Because it's the front unit, you know. It's had a rough I can clean it now though. I'll straighten it out a little bit. You get one of those aluminum combs that you can use on the fins. Get all those bugs out of there. Clean it up nice. And then have it, recharge it. Like I say, this is all 134A, so it's not too bad for the environment like the older stuff used to be. Used to be a lot worse. We're almost done here. We're getting to the end of the line here. Well, you learned about AC a little bit tonight. What that all entails. Not anybody usually messes with the AC on their cars, But in this case, because I'm pulling everything, I want everything out of the way. These are all things that you can break when you're trying to rip a motor and tranny and all that out. Just that much more room, things I don't have to worry about breaking. I can recharge it. I'll show all that. That's what the whole purpose of all this is, right? You get to learn a little bit of a lot of stuff here. Now it's all loose, so I can take out my AC unit. Now just remember, that's under pressure. You saw. If you're gonna do that, don't just crank them off and think you're gonna be okay. You gotta let it discharge, because you don't want it blowing in your eyes or knocking something into your face or something. Could be very, very dangerous. Okay, any of this stuff. That's why the professionals sometimes are the only ones that do it, because it's kind of dangerous. But you got to see how that kind of worked. Ouch. And somewhat safe. Not perfect, but again, 10 millimeter here on this. Now my AC unit is completely discharged, which means it's safe to work on. I wasn't going to do that tonight, but since I was here, I'll drain the oil after this dries up, or I'm going to put some kitty litter down tonight. It's still bubbling. Still hear it bubbling. Gotta love it. Kind of reminds me of hydrogen peroxide, that stuff, the way it bubbles. Again, there's just 2 bolts and a rubber gasket. It's very similar to the Radiator, except this is the condenser unit on the AC. Condenses that vapor back to a liquid, takes the heat out of it. You're transferring law of thermodynamics there. Back again. Alright, I don't know. I had to switch to my camera because my GoPro died. So what I've done is take the bolt out. Now it's loose in here. I'm putting the bolt back in, as I've always done. Okay. The AC unit is ready to come out now. I'm going to lift it out. Ooh. Good thing I wasn't holding on to I didn't drop my phone there. Alright. Again, another thing you can ruin very easily, so be careful with it. And that's another. The entire front of the truck is now visible all the way through to the motor. And put this right next to it, and my other bracket came off. There. Oh, it switched. There. Bracket came off. Oh, it's not focusing. Wait. There, focus. I got that bracket. So careful with those brackets is what I'm saying. Alright. I don't know where that came from. For now, find the other bracket. Throw it in here. My Ziploc. Ugh. Huh. Yeah, this truck is... It is a farm truck. It looks like there's a bird head right there. There's the rest of... I found a bird body. I found the rest of the bird. Yum. I don't know where that other bracket went. That is so nasty. Ugh. The things you find when you're working on vehicles. Sometimes it's amazing. Because it flung over this way. But now I can't see it anywhere. I'm looking for that bracket. I'm bound and determined to find that bracket. But yeah, like I said, this is a complete restore, so I needed to get this thing down to nothingness anyway. The front clip is now loosened up here. They're kind of bubbling out of there a little bit. AC stuff. Gotta love it. I don't know what happened to the other bracket. So, when I find it, I'll know it. But for now, it's just missing in the truck somewhere. I'm not going to get underneath this thing right now. Ugh. So far, it looks like the battery cables need some redone. That one's actually loose completely out of there. I think this is a good enough accomplishment for the night. I think I'm going to call this. I'm not going to do the draining of the fluid like I was planning on. I think just getting the radiator out, the fan out, you know, the shroud fan, radiator, and AC coil. I think that was an accomplishment on its own, so I think I'll leave it at that. And I think my son is mad at me now, like he was saying earlier. It's 10 o'clock, probably 10:30 now. I don't know, something like that. So anyway, this is where I'm leaving it for the night. Big old open hole. A lot of room now, though. Finish with the AC. Oh, look at how cold. I think it got cold even. Look at that. That is amazing. Let me feel that. Yeah, got a little chilly. That evaporativeness of the... It cooled this all off in here. It's cold. Anyway, I don't know where that came from. Get that out of it. Anyway, I accidentally hit something and it popped up, and then I stopped recording for a second. But anyway, like I said, I think I'm at a good spot. All I have left is back there, that AC coil unit. Remove the oxygen sensors. Is that one out already? What is that down there? What the what? This truck has just got some surprises for me, I think, when I get down into it. But it ain't that big a deal. Again, there's a few parts, you know, that were taken off. A few parts that look like they're broken. I'll explain later what I mean. No, that's the, it goes down to the wheel hub. Okay. Never mind. It's there, okay. Alright, so that's kind of where I'm at. I have to remove the power steering pump off there so that I can, and that's usually fun. They got that fourth bolt that's kind of a booger. But again, I'm going to get some floor dry on this, and then tomorrow, once all this is dried up a little bit, this is a good place to stop, I think, just because I got a lot of mess and a nice little bird head here for everybody who wants to be grossed out. Yummy, yummy. That's That's a bird head right there. Enjoy. Sorry, I had to do it. I couldn't resist. I'm grossed out, now you're grossed out. Alright, good night.